This would not be the first time that we have talked about Corinna Kopf on this show, but in case you need an introduction, allow me to explain. Corinna Kopf is now a former OnlyFans model who made tens of millions of dollars on the platform, and now she has quit OnlyFans and started supporting Donald Trump for president. This was all in like the span of 24 hours, by the way. I don't know what to make of it. She was in the top 0.011% of OnlyFans, and now she has left that behind. She announced on her Twitter, no more link in bio.
That's a kind of a clever way to do it.
Yeah, not taking it too seriously.
Considering everyone understands the implication of link in bio.
Right. So she followed up on that to elaborate. She said, I haven't actually retired from that site just yet, but I do want to try and separate from it slowly over the next couple of months. I've been in a consistent battle with myself over it recently, and it's time to slowly step away. If you want me to be super, and I mean super transparent, I hate being on that site, how I'm looked at by others, but I'm currently building a home and walking away from $300,000+ a month. It seems a little stupid. So there's the lie, right? Is that you won't be able to support yourself outside of OnlyFans when you've already made... Here, actually show this video where she shows a bunch of other streamers how much she has made in total on OnlyFans, because the number is shocking.
Hang on, wait.
Oh, that is disgusting. I need to kill myself.
Is that number right there?
It's this one right here.
I mean, that's what I made. That's what I took home.
And you don't even be doing it.
And how many in 3 years?
This is like what I...
And she doesn't even like...
Look at my first month.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's public.
$67 million, Colonel?
You're printing. You're printing.
That's crazy, right?
What are the tax implications on that?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So in 3 years on OnlyFans, Corinna Kopf made $67 million. Mm-hmm. In her first 48 hours on OnlyFans, she made over $1 million. That type of money is just inconceivable to the average person.
Walking away from that type of money monthly is insane.
It's not stupid. That walking away from that type of money, if it makes you hate yourself and hate the way that you're perceived, it's not stupid to walk away from it.
No, what I'm saying is like...
I know you're not saying that, but I think she is like doubting herself about fully cutting ties.
What the point that I was trying to make is once you start making it, it's very, very hard to just imagine like, okay, I've reached my cutoff. Now I'm going to cut bait and leave.
Like none of these people started OnlyFans having this artificial, arbitrary number in their mind, like I'll stop when I make this.
Yeah.
Even if they did start out with that number, like I'll stop when I hit $1 million.
Yeah.
They move the goalpost. You know.
Pause for dance.
Third party.
Eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eating the dogs. Eating the cats. Eat the cat.
But you know, they make that amount of money that they thought would be their watershed moment, or they buy their first home, or they buy their first car, whatever it may be that they built up in their mind as the justification for doing this thing that, you know, honestly makes them have a lower self-worth. And then they reach that and they realize it's not enough, or they're too entrenched. They feel like they have nothing left to lose. You know, I mean, people already don't respect
now
me.
Your spending habits are of a certain size, right? Or you've invested in businesses. You have financial implications beyond just your regular income, and that gives you all of these little reasons not to give up.
Right, exactly. So I guess finally she is slowly deciding to cut ties with OnlyFans. She's having a breakup with her OnlyFans subscribers, if you will. And I think that's a great thing. I think that people are just so shocked because when they think about that amount of money, they're thinking like, oh, I would just do anything for that. Yeah. You shouldn't feel that way. Like, there are so many things I wouldn't do for $67 million. Like, the list is never ending. Actually, there are so many things I wouldn't do for that. But these days, you know, that lifestyle is so glamorized, unfortunately.
I don't mean to diminish these arguments. And I do think that they're valid. Is most of the time what they're talking about here is how much is your soul worth? I see somebody in the chat says 67. Oh, it says basically saying that you're selling your soul. Okay, that's valid. I understand that point, but in the world we live in today, that is not how the average person thinks, especially if they're not religious, right? So they're not going to be thinking about their soul. They're going to be thinking about the house they want to buy, the car they want to drive, the material possessions that they want to own. I get it. It makes perfect sense. And we've seen endless articles that have been written by people who worked on these platforms who said that it's slowly... They couldn't even look at men by the time they were done because of the things men on these platforms asked them to do.
Yeah.
And that it destroyed their soul little by little. But even then, they probably had to come to that concept of a soul after it was too late.
By destroying it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can clearly see from those tweets, Corinna is still mentally in that place of thinking about what she could score from this money rather than what she could lose from continuing to chase after it, right? So maybe she's not going to fully cut ties. I hope she does, and I hope she realizes that it needs to happen sooner rather than later. But of course, she's not thinking about her soul or thinking about it in language like that. But she very clearly stated, like, this is making me feel gross. This is making me hate the way I'm perceived by other people. And she knows that it just gives her a sick feeling inside. You know, it just doesn't feel right. Yeah. And her gut instinct is telling her this isn't the right way. And that's why I say that more women should listen to their gut instincts instead of listening to the rationalizations, instead of listening to what the crowd is telling them to do or what other women especially are telling them to do, which is likely most of the time not good for you.
This may seem like a stupid preface, but life is so busy now and life is so noisy. You're in constant input. You're constantly being fed info from your phone. You're mired in self-loathing and narcissism with the way that we perceive ourselves on social media now, that all these concepts that you're discussing almost feel like there's a lifetime of distractions that can prevent you from feeling those until it's too late. So
it dulls your senses.
It dulls your senses, and you don't start feeling it. It's kind of like when they talk about hierarchy of needs. Okay, you've gone down this path. You've made your money. Now, all the things that you were worried about before aren't a concern to you. Now you can start to worry about the philosophical, right? But you can't get there until it's too late.
Yeah, and now that you have filled all of those survival needs with the amount of money you've made, you know, you've got your food, your shelter, no worries about that. Yeah. Now you're thinking about the things that are higher on that pyramid, like family, community, love, for instance. Yeah. And then you've made it like a million times harder for yourself to actually get those things because of what you did to make the money that gave you the bottom foundation of the pyramid.
There's a
you have another 20. BMF Nate Dogg said the upholstery is already ruined.
I also think, thank you, BMF Nate Dogg. I also think that before, when porn was an industry that you had to like know somebody to get involved with, which was still filled with lots of people who were desperate for money, right? There was still people that worked in that industry that were industrious and stayed in it their entire adult lives. That's a very, very small percentage of people that love that life, live that life, want to be there, I assume. But now, because the barrier to entry to do this type of work is so low because you can just start your own page, more and more people find their way too quickly, make the money too fast, and don't realize till later that it's not what they want.
Well, I would argue that, you know, it's not what any of them want truly deep down. And if you do want that on the surface level, you want it for the wrong reasons. But I also wanted to talk about Corinna's political statements. She posted a selfie with Trump over the weekend. And a lot of people were very shocked by this because she has a lot of mainstream influencer friends who are not down with Trump. And this was at the, I believe it's the Madison Square Garden rally, right?
Well, no, this is at UFC.
Somewhere else. It's at UFC, right? I see it, yeah. So, you know, she was part of David Dobrik's vlog squad. And a lot of those mainstream influencers are still too scared to make political endorsements like this.
You shouldn't be scared. You should just not care.
Right, you shouldn't care. It's becoming less controversial, which is maybe why she did this at this moment. She also tweeted hoping more people see through the lies, bullshit, and propaganda from Kamala Harris and the left. We don't need 4 more years of this shit. Our country is in shambles. And if you think our sitting VP is going to magically fix it, you are dead wrong. So a lot of people who followed Corinna are unfollowing and raging at her right now.
I did laugh at a comment that said the failed influencer to right-wing pipeline. And I said, if $67 million is the failed influencer pipeline, you're
Sign me up.
You are smoking crack.
No, yeah, that's crazy.
Like, there is no world in which she is making more money doing this than she was doing what she did before.
If anything, I think it just means she has the financial freedom to say whatever it is she truly thinks. And this is funny because I feel like I'm one of very few people who know Corinna Kopf from when she started out online, like having an online presence. Before she was affiliated with David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad people, she was a MAGA babe. Like, she was one of those blondes with the MAGA hat, and I watched her on Periscope streams.
When Mary said that earlier, I was instantly given flashbacks.
Majorly dates me.
In a Bourne movie.
Like, she did Periscope streams talking about Trump and politics and stuff like that. She, like, e-dated this guy who went by the name Pizza Party Ben. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And if you don't, I honestly feel bad for you because it was quite the time to be on the internet back in 2016. And she was always kind of MAGA, like, behind the scenes. Yeah. She just didn't like talking about it until now. It's just funny to see the way things have evolved.
It's so weird how these things can evolve for people. Like, for instance, like, I don't talk about politics on Instagram ever. Like, ever. It's just skating stuff, and everyone that I interface with there is pretty much just people that I've known for years through skating, because that's what I talk about on that that's what I do on that platform, and that's an outlet for me. I don't care about politics. I don't even really talk about politics on Twitter.
But you have a Gadsden flag in the background of one of your skating videos. So basically, basically you're a scumbag.
You're a Nazi, yeah.
And a Nazi.
People did say, I mean, those are people that don't actually understand where the Gadsden flag comes from, but you can't help stupid. But
no, you can't.
The point being that people can be more than one thing, and what the internet has done is it forces everyone to filter into a label and be only that with the people in their lives. And that's sad. So,
well, I hope the best for Corinna Kopf. I think that
on her redemption arc,
she really should go through a redemption arc. She's just not ready yet.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.